divisor, and 12 and 8/10. So we have to move our decimal point. Over how many spaces to make our divisor? 1. And put a 1 there. Our new decimal point is here, so that new number is now 31. And we just match the numbers. So if we have to move the decimal point over to the right 1 number here, we have to move it over 1 number in our dividend. Your numbers should match. So if you moved it over to the right 1, you start here and you move the decimal point over to the right 1. Because what's actually happening here, and it's something we'll be able to see a little bit later, is you're actually multiplying 3 1/10 by 10. Let me show you an example. If I have 10 divided by 5. What's 10 divided by 5?
2.
What is it? 2. Now, when you're doing a division problem, listen, look at this closely. This is a concept that will really be helpful in algebra and as you learn how to solve equations later in the year. When I'm doing a division problem, if I multiply both of these numbers by the same number, my answer will be the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 10 times 10, and I get what? 100. And if I do 5 also times 10, what do I get?
50.
And what's 100 divided by 50?
20.
How many 50 cents are in a dollar? 2. Okay? Alright, what if I do 10 times 3? What do I get?
30.
What if I do 5 times 3? What do I get?
15.
What's 30 divided by 15? 2. Okay? So, do we see anything here, a commonality between these 3 problems? Kenyon, what do you see? All the answers are 2. Why are all the answers 2? Marquise? Well, because we multiplied the numbers. We started off with the same number, and we just multiplied 10 times 10 and 5 times 10 here. Or we did 10 times 3 and 5 times 3. Okay? So if we start with our numbers and a division problem, as long as we're multiplying both numbers by the same number, our answer will be the same. So that's essentially what we're doing when we're moving our decimal point. So in this problem, when we had 3 1/10, and we moved the decimal point over and made it 1, when we moved the decimal point over and made this 31, what we were actually doing is saying 31 times 10. Okay? And if you don't believe me, let's look. 3 1/10 times 10. Okay? So I do what first? What do I multiply first? 0 times 1 is what?
0.
Then what?
0.
Is what?
0.
Then what do I do?
0 times.
And then
1 times 1
is
1.
And then
3.
Excellent. And then I add and I get
310.
and how many after the decimal point?
1.
How many after the decimal point?
0.
How many do I need to move over?
1.
Excellent. So I end up with 31, which is what we said. So essentially what we did was multiply 3 1/10 times 10 every time you move the decimal point over. So if we moved it over times 10 here, we had to do 12 and 8/10 also times 10. That's why your numbers have to match. Let's see what we get. Running out of space. Get erased quickly. Sorry, hold up. Let's do it up here. So we had 12 and 8/10. And I said this was times 10. Walk me through it again. What do I do first?
8 times 0.
Is,
0.
then,
0.
then,
1. 0.
0. Then down here I need a.
0.
Then what do I do?
1 times 8.
Is 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 2 is 1 times 1. Then sorry, don't worry about this stuff over here. Then I add, and I get
0.
then
8.
then
1.
decimal points. How many?
1.
How many?
0.
How many at the end?
1.
So I end up with
1.
what number is that?
128.
Uh-oh. Isn't that what we said up here?
Yes.
So essentially, when we move the decimal point over 1, we multiply this number times 10. So if we want our answer to be the same answer as our original problem, then this number has to be multiplied by what? 10.